Garage doors can be expensive. Are you keeping yours in the best condition possible? This is Cameron Hall with Doors Plus. Doors Plus is a locally owned business that prides itself on the fast, reliable, and friendly service. Doors Plus offers flexible scheduling so you can book an appointment that fits your busy day. My team and I will come out to your property, both commercial and residential, and provide you with the necessary information you need to make sure your garage door is in working and smooth condition. Give Doors Plus a call today at 402-590-5800 to book an appointment and learn more about our preventative maintenance plans. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
Cover more acres with a pre-owned sprayer or planter from Landmark Implement, your local John Deere dealer. We offer one of the area's largest selections of used sprayers, applicators, planters, and seeders. Through the month of January, take advantage of fixed rate financing of 3.9% for up to 60 months or a 12-month interest waiver. Visit your local Landmark Implement location or view our complete sprayer and seeder inventory at landmarkimp.com and experience the Landmark difference.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started. 93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize before participating in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the K&TK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Erick Strickland.
Strickland for three! And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin.
Yeah, that open is going to be needing an update. No longer am I the Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind. I'm the starting quarterback of the Indianapolis Colts in his mind.
You are fresh.
I got the jersey.
Fresh.
Part of the 93.7 The Ticket Jersey Club, courtesy of DP. Big shout out to him for the Indiana Knights Anthony Richardson jersey. It's got the captain logo on. It's number 5, all that good stuff. So big shout out DP. Really appreciative of that. Stricky, glad you made it.
I'm here.
We appreciate that. How you doing?
Listen, I mean, I love being with the crew, man, in the best way I can. Like, obviously, there's always times where it just doesn't happen, but praying for all of you guys out there that have to brave it, first responders, people that just have to do the work. Whether you're in the waste management business or transport business. I mean, because like I
walked
said,
by a couple mailmen. On my way in today.
Yeah, whatever the work that has to get done, man. Salute to you. Like I'm not even gonna lie to you. Salute to you, because it is not easy. It's cold. I can only imagine
EMTs on the highways.
I could imagine even like the extreme of what this is to the extreme heat of what you have to do, even in the summertime, where there's just nowhere you can go. There's not enough clothes you can take off. It's just you're gonna have to, brave it. And so we salute you guys, man. You guys are awesome.
Amen to that. We salute you. We salute Mary Ellen's Food to the Soul. Food for the Soul down at 29th and Pine Lake here in Lincoln. Starter Heyman Jewelers sponsoring our video streams, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. They also sponsor our text line at 402-464-5685. Allo, our great friends at Allo, who sponsor channel 961, now not 951. I know y'all got used to that, but now from Omaha to Scottsbluff, Bridgeport, anywhere in between.
Alliance,
Ainsworth,
all over.
O'Neill, all of them. You can watch us, Allo channel 961. Here's the thing, Strick. The title of the stream is Beat Iowa Day. Sways on Twitter said, beat Iowa Day for the big duel tonight. That's a part of it.
Huge.
Number two
in the country.
Iowa comes to town tonight. Next segment, we'll talk about the men's basketball game, the mentality they need to take on the road to Iowa City. But Strick, it's a huge day in Huskerland, right? You come off a win over Purdue. Women's basketball gets the job done against Illinois last night. It's cold, it's snowy, but it's perfect, right? It's indoor sports, right? Wrestling, get in there. The action's going to be hot. It's going to be gross. It's going to be grimy, tough wrestling. We expect it.
Yeah.
And then I expect fireworks in Iowa City. I think these are two really good offensive basketball teams. So not to use the cliche, it might be cold outside, but it's heating up inside. I think that's just true. So first of all, we turn our attention to Mark Manning and this wrestling team, the polar bear in his element in the snow, back in the lineup today. Number 2 versus number 4, maybe the biggest duel of the season for Husker wrestling.
Well, that is true. It is an exciting day. And wow, how they've just kind of shot up the polls, just teetering right there around the top 10. And they've just kind of just been moving up the ladder and find themselves right here again at another opportunity to knock off a top, 2 foe in Iowa. And Iowa's always been really good at wrestling. This is one of their top tier programs and the things that they've done well. And now it's time for Nebraska to really take the stage and shine and hopefully break through. I mean, I've got faith in them. I think the intensity that has been brought with Nash Hutmaker coming over and just those guys gelling together and working together, pulled off a really tough one just recently with a 1-point victory, but they got the victory. So even if they win by 1 point, half a point, it doesn't matter. Go get it.
I don't want to compare Mark Manning and James Franklin because I think Mark Manning's a much better coach. But you see these programs between Nebraska wrestling and Penn State football kind of in the same spot. Great talent up and down the roster. But in their division, in their conference, they're just those roadblocks that you compete with, you put on a good show against year after year, but you're still looking for that breakthrough moment to get over the hump. Yeah. We saw basketball get its moment against Purdue. Why the heck not wrestling tonight?
Why not? Why not? Keep it rolling. Keep the train rolling. I don't think sometimes I can. Let me just make the reference on me. I know how sometimes weather can have an effect on mentality, just being able to drum up energy, all of those things, right? That comes with that. This is why I think Miami's going to get beat in Kansas City. It's sometimes it's just something that you're not accustomed to, you're not used to. Weather can do that to you. Like I used to remember going up and playing in Portland and having to play against the Seattle Supersonics. And if it was real misty, dreary, just no sun, and you had a couple days there, it was okay to get in and get out. That can affect you. So you're just hoping that the ride over here, just everything going on, just, oh man, why do I have to go out in this stuff? It's easier when you're at home because you can just kind of get in your car, go to your building. Everything's familiar. Everything's comfortable. Afterwards, you get to just kind of go your way and do that. But it's different when you're away from home. And so you're hoping that Nebraska can take advantage of that. And you're hoping that Nebraska doesn't fall victim to that. But they were there beforehand. So hopefully they're rested, rejuvenated, and ready to go.
We'll definitely break down the basketball matchup here in just a sec. Again, Sways, appreciate you on Twitter. Hey, let's shout this out too. On the Block 93.7. Search it on Twitter. Give it a follow. If you get us to 50 followers by the end of the day, I will jump into Snowbank, right?
Ooh.
Get Rico to 1950. Get the On the Block 93.7 page just to 50 by the end of the day. We will turn it to fan cam. Stricky will run the board as I go jump into Snowbank. It's right there. I'm
right
excited.
there.
I would love to do that. That account.
It's right there.
It is. Sways, do appreciate you chiming into the show here on Twitter. He says lots of people hoping to see 2 football guys lock horns. Ben Cooter, I think that is, at 285 from Iowa football, might debut too. That's pretty cool, right? Get 2 football guys going at it. And here's the thing, Strick. This has been a season of streaks, right? Sway says, I was 14-0 versus Nebraska with their current head coach, hoping that streak ends tonight. It had been 11 years since Nebraska beat Michigan State. It had been, or 17 games, I think, since Nebraska, 11 games since Nebraska beat Michigan State. It had been a long time since Nebraska beat Indiana, since like 2019. We saw Husker football snap the streak against Iowa last year.
Yep.
Should have snapped it against Wisconsin this year. Here's the question again. Why isn't it Husker wrestling's turn? Go get it.
Go get it. Go get it. In your home gym. Yes, you internally got to get yourself hyped for this one. Yeah, I think there'll be people in the building, but you internally got to do it yourself tonight.
Sure do. Bring your own energy, make your own energy, give the crowd something to cheer for. Again, we hope there are people in the building for Husker wrestling against Iowa. Huge match. But be safe, right?
Yeah.
Safety first. As much as we want Nebraska to beat Iowa, we want you, blockheads, all of you, ticket family,
it's on TV
to be
too,
safe. It is as well.
Join in. If you can't get out to watch it, join in. And again, it's back to back.
Sure is.
You get some good wrestling matches, and then right behind that, boom, the Huskers will chime in and get it going.
Husker Hoops. That's where we go next. Nebraska, Iowa men's basketball, 8:30 tip-off from Carver Hawkeye Arena in Iowa City. We'll break down that matchup, what Nebraska needs to do, what that mindset is, how do they bring their own energy, and more here during On the Block.
WWE Friday Night SmackDown returns to Lincoln, January 12th, 6:45 p.m. Pinnacle Bank Arena.
Let's throw down right now.
See Rey Mysterio, LA Knight, Bobby Lashley, The Street Profits, Charlotte Flair, Io Sky, Carlito, and more. It's WWE's Friday Night SmackDown in Lincoln, January 12th. Tickets start at $25 and on sale now. Ticketmaster.
If your home heating system is making strange noises or just doesn't work like it should, call your friends at Bryant Air Conditioning and Heating. Sign up for Bryant's exclusive ESP service protection plan. You'll get twice annual complete and thorough service on all brands, and you'll never pay overtime charges on evenings, weekends, or holidays. Schedule your heating check today and ask about Bryant's ESP plan to save money. Call 467-1111 or go to BryantLincoln.com. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. We do whatever it takes.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Are you working in or looking to get into the electrical construction industry? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Golfing in 72 degrees and perfect conditions in Nebraska doesn't seem possible in the winter, but it is. Double Eagle Golf is your escape from the bone-chilling cold outside and a reason to keep your clubs out year-round. Book a bay with some friends for a weekend or come by for golf and happy hour on a weekday. Spring leagues begin in February. Get signed up today. That's all at Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex at West O Street. Online at doubleeagle.golf.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Don't miss Star Wars Night at the Icebox this Saturday as the Lincoln Stars battle the Tri-City Storm. The Stars will be sporting specialty Star Wars uniforms that will be auctioned off after Saturday's game. Purchase a Star Wars Night package now to get 4 tickets and 2 lightsabers for $75. The puck drops at 7:05 p.m., and you can get your tickets now at LincolnStars.com.
Cover more acres with a pre-owned sprayer or planter from Landmark Implement, your local John Deere dealer. We offer one of the area's largest selections of used sprayers, applicators, planters, and seeders. Through the month of January, take advantage of fixed rate financing of 3.9% for up to 60 months or a 12-month interest waiver. Visit your local Landmark Implement location or view our complete sprayer and seeder inventory at landmarkimp.com and experience the Landmark difference.
Houses? They're expensive. And once you buy one, you're kind of stuck with it for a while. You need to make sure you get your best house for the best price. You need Ben Bleicher and his team of pros at Professional Realty Group. They'll take the time to figure out what's important for you in your dream home, and they have the expertise to find the hidden issues that could surprise you after the sale. That's professional knowledge, proactive service. We call that potential. Ben Bleicher and the team at Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway's Home Service Ambassador. Find more online at prg-ne.com.
The Mill Coffee and Tea, formerly with 4 Lincoln locations, but now 5 Lincoln locations. That's 25% more locations than there used to be. Can you even imagine a world where there's only 4 Lincoln Mill locations? Feels like ages ago. We were all so young then. The Mill on 11, located right alongside the 93.7 The Ticket Studios at 1040 O Street.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Grayson Waller of WWE is not about our weather. From the Outback, not loving what he's seeing, Stricky.
Man, everybody, all my friends, all my friends were like, Strick, where are you going? Where are you moving to? I'm like, I'm going back to Nebraska. They're like, what? Because they know I love the freaking warmth of the South and was totally enjoying Florida. But I love DP and I love you guys and I love my Nebraska folks. And I just said, you know what? I'm going to grit it and bear it. I'm going to come on back. And sometimes I have those feelings and it doesn't have anything to do with Nebraska itself. It has everything to do with what I see outside that window.
Yes. That darn snow. Grayson Waller should be in action tonight, much to his chagrin. He's one of those guys, Strick, that's got to get his mind right, though. Like, that's
what I was just talking about.
Imagine them writing a storyline for him to win tonight, and he's like, I'm not going to do it. The snow got me beat. And he goes against the storyline.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I don't know if people understand. The weather does play parts on the psyche, the mentality. I mean, if I'm a Florida Dolphin, if I'm a Miami Dolphin, and I go out onto that field and it's negative 15, 12, and I'm not used to that. I'm used to waking up. It's sun. It's fun. It's the shine, and you feel the warmth on your body. You've got shorts on in the wintertime, maybe a pair of slacks and a shirt, and then you've got to go into this. And not only that, take them hits. That could play in the mind. Watch out for a blowout, Kansas City.
We'll get to the NFL playoffs in hour 2, but yes, Miami could very much be in trouble. OG, Les Lancaster, Derek in the car. Really appreciate you guys tuning in. Strick, let's turn our attention about 4 hours east of here to Iowa City. Nebraska goes on the road to take on Iowa. The Huskers, of course, coming off that huge win over Purdue on Tuesday. Strick, this is an interesting Iowa team. I was pretty down on them coming into the year. I didn't think they'd be nearly as good as they were in years past. But Strick, you look at this team, what it's done so far for Iowa, it's really only had, one bad loss. They lost to Michigan by 10 points in Carver Hawkeye Arena. But other than that, their losses have been to Creighton in Omaha by only 8 points. Remember, Nebraska lost that game by darn near 30. You lose to top 15 Oklahoma, lose it by a dozen points. You lose to Purdue by almost 20. You lose to a good Iowa State team who just knocked off Houston. Same day Nebraska beat Purdue. And then 2 games ago, the Hawkeyes lost on the road at the Kohl Center by 11 points. So kind of comparable result. But here's the thing. Iowa's 9-6. Their only losses really are to some of those tougher teams outside of that Michigan game. But this is still a vintage Iowa team, Strick. Top 20 in scoring, 120th in defense. They still want to run. They still want to get shots up. Do you think Nebraska can play that style better this year than years past?
Yeah, there's no doubt. And here's why you can see it. It's not a big strength of Purdue, but Purdue will get out and run. You saw what Wisconsin will do. They want run at opportunity.
Michigan State transition.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
But Nebraska, that's one of the things that they're taught. We're not going to give up a lot of, if we score or don't score, we're not going to give you easy opportunity. We're going to make you work for it. And so this is why you can see them sending 3 and 4 guys back, maybe crashing 1 or 2. Mm-hmm. If they know they got an advantage to where they can crash, or periodically you'll see Juwan Gary just take a crash at it. It's like, I think they've designated specific guys on when they can go, where they're at, when they can go, and otherwise they're going to be able to get back. And so I think that's a good thing about them stopping those transition points or them secondary break opportunities.
Mm-hmm. Looking up and down this Iowa roster, right now they have 4 guys scoring in double figures per game. Ben Krikke, who also transferred up from the Missouri Valley Conference. He's essentially their version of Rink Mast, is what he is. I think Rink Mast is a better all-around player, even though Krikke has the higher scoring average. Peyton Sandfort has taken a step forward at 14 points per game, shooting it at 40% from 3. Tony Perkins has stepped up a little bit, not the same volume from 3, but hitting at 38.5%. And then the guy I'm interested to see, Strick, is Owen Freeman. He's a freshman, kind of came out of nowhere, but he's won the majority of, if not all, the Big Ten Freshman of the Week awards, right? He's a freshman who will play mostly on the interior, right? He's more of an inside presence than an outside one. 0% 3-point shooter this year. I don't know if that's all he has attempted any, just hasn't made any, but he's going to be an inside presence. He's more of a true post guy. He's averaging 10 points, 6 rebounds per game. I'm curious to see him in action. Is he, that good in terms of winning Freshman of the Week every week? Is it a weak freshman class in the Big Ten? I'm sure there's some of that, but we think if Iowa's running and gunning and chucking up threes, they still shoot it, but not nearly as many as they did with, Connor McCaffrey and Jordan Bohannon around in town.
No, and that's okay. But like you said, their areas of weakness is going to be defense. But Nebraska is going to have to continue doing the things that we've been seeing in the progressions of how they've gotten better. Mm-hmm. Each week we've talked about specific things like setting screens and taking certain types of shots. And if you're on the attack and learning how to work off of certain screens, we saw them make the plays. Some of them they didn't connect on, as we talked about the Tamanaga when he had a guy on his back. Rink Mast was still kind of there. It was a release to the basket. Rink just doesn't get it. Mm-hmm. But they have those type of game plans that just I think if they work it out in Iowa, they will come out with a victory, as long as they just don't let Iowa feel comfortable all night. You've got to take them out of their comfort zone. When you're at home and you can just feel good about yourself, don't give them a smell. Go out early. I think win the first 5 minutes, win the last 5 minutes, win the first, and then finish the game. Win the first of the second half, 5 minutes of the second half, and then win the game. Because there's going to be runs. Mm-hmm. So that's why I say go out, push them hard early, finish the half off, either keeping a lead, maintaining a lead, or pushing a lead. Mm-hmm. Come out the first, match the energy, hold them off. Now you go into building, and that's how you attack. You're drawing fouls and you're doing things like that. That's how you end up winning games on the road, and that's what they're going to have to do.
Nebraska in Iowa City, that game tips off in just about, can I do my math here? Yeah, about 6 hours or so from now. Strick, you mentioned the mindset, right? It's just as cold, maybe not quite as snowy yet in Iowa City. But I think back to last year. Nebraska played Iowa twice. They beat them in late December. Pretty much the same time that Nebraska would have played Purdue last year. They played Purdue, but Iowa was one of those games before the new year. They win that game going away. Nebraska plays well. Iowa doesn't shoot it well. Then they go to Iowa City, the last game of the regular season. And this is where it's a different situation, but there's the same need for a response. Last year, Nebraska blew that second half lead over Michigan State. The Spartans heated up like that, microwave, shot lights out in the second half, stole a win from Nebraska. Nebraska just couldn't answer. Nebraska then had to go to Iowa to wrap up the regular season, right? So coming off a loss, Nebraska goes to Iowa, gives up 18 offensive rebounds. Patrick McCaffrey, whose availability for tonight is still up in the air, goes off, career highs, hitting threes left and right. But Nebraska hangs in that game. They stay in it. They win it by 4. Similar response needed, even though Nebraska's coming off a win.
Yeah. It needs to be done. And it's not because it's a must win for Nebraska. It's because you want to see the growth of a winning program mentality. That's what you want to see. So that's why it's important for them to hit this road. And then if you go and take care of business on the road, you can solidify yourself, I think, being ranked, because they're right now the voters, they're waiting. They're just waiting to see if that was flukish. Did you just kind of just have a night? But if you want to be a great program or a startup or a building program, these are the ones that you need to back it up. It's like, the stamp of approval has already been stamped, but now we need to, go and get the notary on it.
Right.
It qualifies that this is legit. You know what I'm saying? Go notarize this game today with a victory.
Sways again on Twitter says, "Oh, Iowa has basketball. Didn't know that was allowed in their state," which is funny. But here's the thing: the state of Iowa has some good hoops. I mean, Iowa has been near the top of the Big Ten for a few years now. Iowa State had a surprise year the last couple years, bouncing back and making the NCAA tournament last year. I think the Cyclones are solid. You look at Northern Iowa, Coach Ben Jacobson's been there for a while. And if Fran McCaffrey ever leaves Iowa, watch out for Darian DeVries, head coach at Drake. His son Tucker is great. Drake has been rolling recently. There's good hoops being played in Iowa. Now, I think it's still wrestling state first, then probably football second, but don't sleep on Iowa hoops.
No. And like you said, listen, they're 7-1 at home.
Right. You talk about defending home all the time. Iowa's done it.
And they're 7-1. So you don't go in there just thinking just because the record means nothing in basketball. As you can see, 1, 2, 3, and 5 go down. Records mean nothing when it comes time to lace them up and look across from your opponent and have to play the game. And a famous football coach said, you play to win the game. And that's what you got to do. You got to go out there and play the game. No team is going to lay down for you.
No, especially not after what you did Tuesday night.
No. And, you beat them twice. So no, you don't look past anybody. I don't care if it's Rutgers. I don't care who it is. Don't look past anybody, because you're nobody until you make yourself become somebody. You're nobody.
That's how it goes. Most important player for Nebraska tonight, in your opinion?
On the road, I think I want to say Bryce Williams, because he knocked on the door of a triple-double. I think that a calming presence of outside of rink mass, a calming presence just on the perimeter to just be able to slow things down, get them into certain things. When they make a run, kind of understanding where to go. He seemed to have been that piece until Jamarcus could kind of come around and get himself together. You still want to see CJ do CJ things right now. Shooting 62% over his last 6 games and from 3 is sickening. Keep that up. Keep that fire. Keep that energy. Let's go.
I'm glad you brought up Jamarcus Lawrence. Last year in that last game on the road at Iowa, 5 of 8 from 3-point range, also added 5 rebounds and 4 assists. One of the better games Jamarcus Lawrence has played. We'll see if he can get it heated back up tonight. We'll take a break, wrap up hour 1 of On the Block after this. We'll take a look elsewhere in the Big Ten at Michigan. An interesting, unique sort of suspension up in Ann Arbor. The vibes are not good. We'll tell you about it to close out hour one.
If you're not going to Memorial Stadium for a home game and don't have any travel plans for away games, there's a great place in Omaha to catch the action, the Inner Rail Food Hall. There's plenty of space. The Backstretch Bar has amazing game specials on game days. $15 Blue Moon and Bud Light pitchers, $6 margaritas, and $6 Moscow mules. And if you're hungry, take in some of their great options from their game day pizza specials. Do football game day right in the Inner Rail Food Hall in Exarban Village in Omaha.
Garage doors can be expensive. Are you keeping yours in the best condition possible? This is Cameron Hall with Doors Plus. Doors Plus is a locally owned business that prides itself on the fast, reliable, and friendly service. Doors Plus offers flexible scheduling so you can book an appointment that fits your busy day. My team and I will come out to your property, both commercial and residential, and provide you with the necessary information you need to make sure your garage door is in working and smooth condition. Give Doors Plus a call today at 402-590-5800 to book an appointment and learn more about our preventative maintenance plans. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
At Union Bank, people don't have your money. Your money has people. First home people, investment people, people who answer the phone and your chats, dream car people, dream retirement people, driving your dream car in your dream retirement people, small business people, credit card people, and all the other people you need. At Union Bank, our people help you do more than you dreamed possible. So stop in and say hello. We can't wait to see you. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Ever felt judged at the gym?
You don't know how to use the leg curl machine? Are you serious? This is your first day alive? No, it's okay. I love helping people during their first day on Earth.
At Planet Fitness, get energy without the judgment and join the judgment-free zone. Never intimidating, always free fitness training and equipment for every workout. Get energized today during the Big Fitness Energy Sale for 24 cents down, $10 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal ends today. See Home Club for details.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and we'd like to say thank you for a record-setting 2023. So let's start off 2024 with the bang. They've got huge trade-in bonuses and finance bonusing happening right now on our new inventory at Koppel. Get up to $8,500 off select new models at Koppel. So if you're shopping for a new GM product, go to our website at koppelcars.com. You won't believe the discounts. Make that short money-saving drive down 144th Street. You'll be glad you did. Must have trade and finance with roof credit. Stock number G207684.
Cover more acres with a pre-owned sprayer or planter from Landmark Implement, your local John Deere dealer. We offer one of the area's largest selections of used sprayers, applicators, planters, and seeders. Through the month of January, take advantage of fixed rate financing of 3.9% for up to 60 months or a 12-month interest waiver. Visit your local Landmark Implement location or view our complete sprayer and seeder inventory at landmarkimp.com and experience the Landmark difference.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit OakStreetCarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all.
Oak Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize before participating in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the K&TK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln. or your prize will be forfeit. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket. Golfing in 72 degrees and perfect conditions in Nebraska doesn't seem possible in the winter, but it is. Double Eagle Golf is your escape from the bone-chilling cold outside and a reason to keep your clubs out year-round. Book a bay with some friends for a weekend or come by for golf and happy hour on a weekday. Spring leagues begin in February. Get signed up today. That's all at Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex at West O Street. Online at doubleeagle.golf.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today: snow and blowing snow likely today, especially in the morning. Otherwise, it'll be cold and windy, a high of just 8. Tonight, cold and wind continue, more blowing snow as well. See a low of 5 below. And tomorrow, more cold, wind, blowing snow, a high of just -1. Stay warm and safe out there. I'm meteorologist Kyle Klecker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Back here on the block, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. I'm Austin Norman, Erick Strickland seated to my left. And we started the show off, Strick, you did by naming all the people hard at work, making our streets clear and clean, going to work even when it's gross out like this. We got to shout out Good Sense. Every Friday, they bring us food. Black Friday, right? Everyone else is off. They're watching Nebraska, Iowa. We're here. Good Sense delivers. Today, Good Sense came through. Big shout out to them for, rain, snow, sun, whatever it is, always delivering. And Stricky, you got a look on your face because you got dessert too. Who brought you dessert? Who brought us dessert?
Sweet Things by Marcy. Unbelievable. The banana pudding that she put in that pan is absolutely phenomenal. Sweet Things by Marcy. Go check them out.
Sweet Things by Marcy. What Stricky's holding up in his hand right now?
Haven't got to it, but I'm on the way.
I housed mine.
I hadn't got to it. Ooh. And it's so, what is it? Soft, not soft. What do they call it?
It's like a spongy cake.
Yeah,
it's so good.
It's so like there's a name for it, but I'm forgetting right now. When something's really moist.
Yes.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Pause. It's really moist. And I'm looking forward to going in on that. But this banana pudding, oh Lord. I hadn't had banana pudding in a while, and I've been trying to get my sister to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet Things by Marcy. Check it out.
Did the thing. Find her online. Best place would probably be her Facebook page, Sweet Things by Marcy. Look her up there, or just sweetthingsbymarcy.com as well. While you're eating your banana pudding, let's go to the text line here real quick. We have Nebraska ball fan asking, hey guys, would you say that Nebraska's success goes off of which Bryce Williams the team gets, whether it's the Bryce Williams against Wisconsin or the Bryce Williams against Purdue?
See, I think that's a misconception, right? And the reason being is Bryce Williams did tremendous things. I think he defended well. I think he got a couple big stops when it mattered. I think he was very solid on making passes to the right guys on time and on target. He didn't particularly play scoring-wise well. I mean, that's a part of it that I think they need from him, but they didn't that night, right? And this is why I say on any given night, just do something that makes winning basketball plays. Do something like when you saw, Gary hit the floor, when you saw guys diving after loose balls, when you saw almost got a steal and he goes and dives out of bounds, Sam Hoiberg. When you're seeing these type of extra effort plays, extra rotations, when extra hustle plays, that's when you know that the team is solid, right? Because that could have easily been Jamarcus. That's what I'm saying. It's not necessarily Bryce. Jamarcus could do things like that.
He has.
Exactly, right? Some nights it's Rick Mass. He might have 5 or 6 assists. Well, it was his night to start off the thing on attack. Usually that might be somebody else. Then some nights it may be like it's not one particular guy per se. So I'm not going to say that it all flows and goes through Bryce. I think he's just an integral piece of a bigger puzzle that if they're all fitting and working and doing things together, then they have a great opportunity each and every night to win.
Bryce Williams isn't a chucker, but he's had some games where he's put up a lot of shots and not made a lot. He's had some 2 for 7, some 4 for 11, some 6 for 14s, which are okay. But the thing I like about Bryce Williams is if his jump shot isn't going down or he's not getting easy looks, he will get himself to the free throw line. He's got that savvy to do that. But like you're saying, he's also just an impact player. He finds other ways to affect the game. And you see that because Fred Hoiberg plays him a lot of minutes. He and Rink Master at the team lead or near the team lead for minutes. So Fred Hoiberg knows Bryce Williams can get hot at any point, but even if he's not, he does so many other things at a high enough level, it's hard to take him off the floor.
Yeah. And it's like the rebounds. Like he's like a yin and a yang version of Juwan Gary. Juwan Gary's a little bit more physical, intense, a little bit more of got a little bit more attitude towards him, right? Or with him when he plays. Bryce is kind of the no-nonsense, quiet gangster, got heart, but he's just, he's just listening. He's listening to everybody talk and listen to everybody work and doesn't really get too high and doesn't get too low. And he's just like milling around. Like he just looks. So to me, if you're just an outside looker and don't understand it, he looks oblivious sometimes, but he's not. I mean, he's honed in, he's focused in. It's just that's his style of play. He's not going to be a vocal guy. He's not going to be a rah-rah guy. That's what Casey and others do, and Juwan and those guys. You know what I mean? But he's just going to be a solid guy that's going to do it by example.
He looks so detached sometimes.
Yeah.
Like he wants to be almost Jokic-esque. Right, Bryce Williams would never say the things that Jokic did. Like he says the right things. He's obviously working hard on the court. He is so smooth and so fluid, though, that he can be going hard, but make it look easy.
And I think I was telling Nick Sainert, he reminds me of
we don't
Paul
speak his
George. Name. Yeah, we're mad at Nick. But I was telling him he reminds me of Paul George. You know what I mean?
I see it.
Paul he's very much like that too. Might get hype in a big playoff game or something. But for the most part, he's just, and then he gives you buckets.
And he'll lock you up at the same time.
Yeah.
Something I want to ask you at some point when we get into it is Bryce Williams shooting off movement.
What about Kawhi? I think his demeanor is like Kawhi's.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. His game kind of reminds me of
same mid-range.
Paul. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
I like it. I have a couple things I want to ask you about Bryce Williams sometime down the road, but we're out of time here in hour one. When we get back, we will touch on Kalen DeBoer to Alabama. Anything we didn't go over with Rico, we'll get to that. And then a big NFL hour. Lots going on in the NFL. It's wild card weekend. We'll dive into the matchups, the storylines, and plenty more when we get back to hour two here of On the Block, proudly presented by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth. 93.7 The Ticket. WWE Friday Night SmackDown returns to Lincoln. January 12th, 6:45 p.m. Pinnacle Bank Arena.
Let's throw down right now.
See Rey Mysterio, LA Knight, Bobby Lashley, The Street Profits, Charlotte Flair, Io Sky, Carlito, and more. It's WWE's Friday Night SmackDown in Lincoln, January 12th. Tickets start at $25 and on sale now. Ticketmaster.
Don't miss Star Wars Night at the Icebox this Saturday as the Lincoln Stars battle the Tri-City Storm. The Stars will be sporting specialty Star Wars uniforms that will be auctioned off after Saturday's game. Purchase a Star Wars Night package now to get 4 tickets and 2 lightsabers for $75. The puck drops at 7:05 p.m., and you can get your tickets now at LincolnStars.com.
Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices. Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
The Mill Coffee and Tea, formerly with 4 Lincoln locations, but now 5 Lincoln locations. That's 25% more locations than there used to be. Can you even imagine a world where there's only 4 Lincoln Mill locations? Feels like ages ago. We were all so young then. The Mill on 11, located right alongside the 93.7 The Ticket Studios at 1040 O Street.
Are you in the market for a new garage door or need to repair your old one? It's wintertime, and that means snow, wind, and freezing temperatures, all things that can cause sticky locks and damage to your garage door. If you're experiencing any issues with your commercial or residential garage door during the winter months, call Cameron Hall and his team at Doors Plus. Don't be trapped outside in the cold because of a poorly maintained garage door. Call Doors Plus today at 402-590-5800 or visit them online at doorsplusllc.com. Doors Plus, garage doors and more.
Golfing in 72 degrees and perfect conditions in Nebraska doesn't seem possible in the winter, but it is. Double Eagle Golf is your escape from the bone-chilling cold outside and a reason to keep your clubs out year-round. Book a bay with some friends for a weekend or come by for golf and happy hour on a weekday. Spring leagues begin in February. Get signed up today. That's all at Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex at West O Street. Online at doubleeagle.golf.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today: snow and blowing snow likely today, especially in the morning. Otherwise, it'll be cold and windy, a high of just 8. Tonight, cold and wind continue, more blowing snow as well. See a low of 5 below. And tomorrow, more cold, wind, blowing snow, a high of just -1. Stay warm and safe out there. I'm meteorologist Kyle Clucker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Ever feel judged at the gym?
You don't know how to use the leg curl machine? Are you serious? This is your first day alive? No, it's okay. I love helping people during their first day on Earth.
At Planet Fitness, get energy without the judgment and join the judgment-free zone. Never intimidating, always free fitness training and equipment for every workout. Get energized today during the Big Fitness Energy Sale for 24 cents down, $10 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal ends today. See Home Club for details.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric brings exciting career opportunities for you or someone you know. They are now hiring plumbers, electricians, and HVAC techs and installers to continually build their professional team. They offer competitive pay and full benefits packages that include health, dental, vision, PTO, and 401k options. Action has created a positive team environment for over 50 years. Apply online at actionlincoln.com.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play it against sports at 48th and Vine.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Coppell Chevrolet GMC, and we'd like to say thank you for a record-setting 2023. So let's start off 2024 with the bang. They've got huge trade-in bonuses and finance bonusing happening right now on our new inventory at Coppell. Get up to $8,500 off select new models at Coppell. So if you're shopping for a new GM product, go to our website at coppellcars.com. You won't believe the discounts. Make that short money-saving drive down 144th Street. You'll be glad you did. Must have trade and finance with roof credit. Stock number G207684.
This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Erick Strickland.
Strickland for three! And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin.
Welcome back to On the Block on this snowy, cold Friday. And it's not a yay on it this day, but it's okay.
Friday, yay. Something. Friday, yay day?
I don't know, but yeah. It's cold.
It's cold.
I just, it looks different. Like, just think about when we were back at 48th and R, right? How we didn't really see anything. We were locked and stocked back in the back. You know, you kind of go about your business, but boy, oh boy, it's thrown right in our face right here at 11th and 0.
Can you imagine that hill in the snow?
Oh my gosh.
Tricky.
Yeah.
Good
I'm
sledding.
going the back way.
But yeah.
Back way.
Yeah.
No, we're not going up the hill. Okay. Let's get back into it. We started on the crossover talking about the Caleb DeBoer potential. It's basically going down. They're negotiating the terms. One question before we dig deep into that and the whys and why does it make senses and all of that stuff by it. But here's the thing. Does the money, where do you think the money goes? Like, how big is it? Do they go as high as Saban, or do they kind of go where he's at and just make it a lateral move with him? Because that's something to think about, right? Is it all about the money to get him to leave, or is it just the better program that maybe would get him to leave, better opportunity? Because I did understand Rico in saying how it's difficult with everybody now that has left the program going into a new program. But I liked his thought process in saying, coming to a new program, the expectations with the losses are not as harsh on you. But I still think it's like starting from ground zero, so forth and so on. So I can understand kind of dropping yourself into like Fortnite, into the hot zone of where it is that you would be able to draw all that you need. And it's already a ready-made pretty much team outside of those who have departed by way of the transfer portal.
We'll start with this. Steve on the YouTube stream asked, what is DeBoer's buyout? Not that it really matters to Alabama. $12 million is the number that Bama will pay to Washington to hire their coach away. So $12 million. Saban was making $11.4 last year. Kirby $10.7. Obviously millions and then hundreds of thousands of dollars. Brian Kelly at $9.97. You have Jimbo Fisher, who is making $9.15. Mark Stoops at $9. Heupel, Kiffin at $9. Alabama can pay top dollar, but I don't think they necessarily have to. Right? DeBoer was making $4.2 million a year at Washington the last couple, which is good money. That would put him, obviously Sarkisian, and I think Venables is making more too. In last year's SEC, though, that would have been ahead of only Clark Lee at Vanderbilt and Zach Arnett at Mississippi State.
They're gonna do better than that. I think the range is gonna be between 7.5 and 8.
7.5 and 8. Okay, that would put him between Billy Napier and Lane Kiffin. Below Sarkisian, I think, and then probably about Venables territory if I had to guess.
Well, do you think he gets probably a bump a little bit higher? Like, now that I think about it, being that you took your team to the big game, and so as a negotiating tactic, if I'm his agent, I'm saying, hey, just took my team
It's funny.
Maybe that gives me a bump. I don't know.
It definitely does. It's funny you mentioned the agent, though. Jimmy Sexton was Nick Saban's agent. He's Kalen DeBoer's agent. But guess what? He's Steve Sarkisian's agent and Mike Norvell's agent, too. Got his dudes, got a dude retired, got 2 of his dudes paid, and then placed one of his other guys at Alabama. So that's an incredible job of agenting by Jimmy Sexton. My thing, though, is Kalen DeBoer is going to get a nice pay bump. Will it double? Maybe. I think that's probably what you're saying, from 4.2 to 7.5 or 8. Double makes sense. But if I'm Kalen DeBoer, whatever it is you're not paying me, the difference between Saban's salary and DeBoer's salary goes into the assistant coaching pool.
Right.
It goes into maintaining recruiting staffing because Kalen DeBoer has never done it at this high a level. I don't want to say he skipped any steps, right? Because he worked his way up from the University of Sioux Falls to Eastern Michigan to Fresno and Indiana, back to Fresno, now up to Washington. Like, he stopped at every level. Hasn't been anywhere longer than 5 years, I don't think, outside of his alma mater at Sioux Falls. He's bounced around quite a bit. And this Washington roster streak wasn't really his. He was only there for 2 years. Even in the transfer portal day and age, it's hard for a guy to leave a mark in terms of the talent in a program in 2 years. He brought Penix with it. That's a testament.
And what does that go back to?
Relationships,
but also you win if you hit
at a quarterback. And I think he has a good one in Jalen Milroe. Can he reach Penix level? Remains to be seen. But Kalen DeBoer has never done big boy recruiting consistently. Whereas that was Nick Saban's focus, was recruiting. I mean, there's the story about his first meeting. Everyone in the building, not just coaches, but, janitors, cooks, everyone in the building is at the same meeting saying everything we do is focused on recruiting. Everything we do is a reflection of the program and can be taken in either a positive light or a negative light. Everyone who's here right now and everyone we hire has to think through the lens of recruiting. Kalen DeBoer hasn't had to do it at that level. It's difficult to recruit at the level Nick Saban does, which is why really only Kirby Smart has done it. Maybe throw Ohio State in there to some degree. But Kalen DeBoer is in for some culture shock in terms of, I think, what it takes, the caliber of player, because not only was Nick Saban, a developmental coach, he added that recruiting piece on maybe better than it is we've ever seen. So if Kalen DeBoer can get the best out of whatever remains on the Alabama roster, they'll be fine for a couple years. But again, Strick, if he's there 3, 4, 5 years, that's when we'll see if he has the SEC chops.
Steve Dean on the YouTube stream throws out, he says he agrees with you. He says, that's what I'm thinking too, Austin. Coaches, he's going to need to bring in some continuity, basically, with that program. And I think it's going to be a time thing. It's going to take time because you kind of can get an idea, depending on what OC he brings with him, you can kind of get an idea of what style that they're going to play. Now, can you bring a Washington type of style? I think it depends on your quarterback. I think that's where we're talking about the difference between scheme and a system. Like you're going to have to be probably pliable, because to me, I think Milroe's okay. I don't think he's at the level and that has a level of accuracy, I don't think, nor the ability to throw the way that Penix did, off back foot, different types of angles.
Not even Bryce Young.
Timing. Yeah, I don't think he has that. So when I look, they're going to have to figure out the style. So I don't know if he's probably good for him to get in early, figure out who he's going to have and what in the rooms, think about that and process that, and then figure out based on those style adjustments that he wants to make. I just don't know if he can bring that to an Alabama team with the quarterback that he has. He's still going to want to run. He's still going to want to do certain things.
But you're not going to run Milroe off, right? If he decides to transfer because DeBoer says you're not a fit for our style, we want to bring, say, Will Rogers with us, that's one thing. But here's the thing. I think Jalen Milroe's, top 5 Heisman odds for next year already. He's a good player.
Yeah.
It would be an incredibly gutsy call to say, nah, we're bringing our own quarterback with us. Might be the right call, might be the wrong call. But I think they're going to work to retain Jalen Milroe because of the locker room factor, Strick. This is a guy that might know a couple guys on the roster through vague recruiting ties, might bring a couple guys with him, but that's the same conversation we had about why I thought it would have been wise for Matt Rule to keep Casey Thompson around here in Lincoln, the locker room, right? To have a pulse, to know the guys, be the leader of the team. I think you want Jalen Milroe for kind of the soft factors side, the human element that we talk about all the time on this show. And you trust whoever your OC is. If Ryan Grubb, decides to make that jump to Alabama's coordinator instead of taking a head coaching job somewhere, that's great. I think having those two guys, that offensive brain trust together, can function a top 10 offense with Jalen Milroe and the kind of talent that Alabama has. But if Kalen DeBoer says, hey, Tommy Rees, you can stick around, I don't know if I'm sold on that. And then it's another acclimation process. It's another person trying to learn how to use this team. But my bigger question, Strick, is we know Washington's offensive line was good. Joe Moore Award, winning, dethroned Michigan, but got eaten up by Michigan. Michigan had an NFL caliber defensive line this year. You see that pretty much week in, week out in the SEC. Can he rebuild and build an offensive line worthy of the SEC? And then the defense, Strick. We saw what Texas did to them when they tried to run the ball, and then what Michigan did. Ran for 8 yards a pop on Washington. You're telling me that Georgia isn't licking its chops at that? Even Ole Miss, I know they just lost Quinshon Judkins, a Schrader from Missouri, isn't saying, yeah, give me some of that?
Yeah. Here's the thing, the quick jump, because you said something. Judkins.
Mm-hmm.
You can't tell me that Ohio State now has seen the blueprint of how they've gotten their butts beat over the last, that they're not figuring out that, you know what, we need to be studs here in the run game. The only thing you have to watch out for the Judkins situation is you don't want it to be a cancerous in the locker room situation, similar to what was going down in Ole Miss, allegedly, what some of the people were saying in the way that he addressed players. You just, that's the risk you take when you bring in a heavy personality and somebody who, comes in and demands and commands room authority and so forth, and has a reputation of drawing his chirping and drawing his jaws. You know what I mean?
Right. We talk so much about Ohio State as, one of the quarterback factories, deservedly so. And recently the wide receiver factory, because Brian Hartline has done an incredible job recruiting and developing receivers at Ohio State. But Strick, think about who the story was when Ohio State won that title in 2014. You had Cardale Jones, but Zeke Elliott was eaten. Before him, you had Carlos Hyde. Then you go to like a J.K. Dobbins, and there are other guys down the line. Travion Henderson, good. Trey Sermon for his year transferring, fine. Mayan Williams, I guess we'll see. Ohio State has gotten away from some of the run game. Like, they should know how important it is, because when they were dominating the conference, they had the best or second best running back in the conference, right there with Wisconsin, who built its identity on running the ball. Urban had that down. I think Ryan Day's lost that.
Lost his way in that department. Let's great stuff. And then you can chime in 402-464-5685 there on the Sauter Heyman text line with your thoughts as well with regards to what we've been talking about. But let's shift now. Let's start with the NFC, because we're going to get into the NFL playoffs as across the country right now. This is going to be an interesting start to the playoffs. It is stacked, though, with tremendous and great matchups that are now going to be put into place. We've talked about those on many of instances, but we are going to start. We're going to start in the NFC. We're going to start there. Going into the NFC, a matchup that we've talked about that I still think has huge implications in so many ways. I still think they'll pull it out, though. You got to watch for the Cowboys and the Packers. Their normal games against each other are always memorable, whether it be in the Tundra or whether it be in the old stadium down there in Dallas, the old stadium before they really started playing in Jerry's World. You have a Dak Prescott who has obviously been stuck in limbo, it seems to be, or in what they would say as a Catholic, when you go through that
Purgatory.
Purgatory. You're stuck in he seems to be stuck in purgatory. You don't know how this is I think a necessary year for him to break loose and break out. Can't just go first round, second round. He needs to go deep if he wants to even feel good about still being there as a Dallas Cowboy head quarterback for the franchise of the nation, the Americans team. And then you Jordan Love, who's trying to make his name. So this is what's coming down the pipe. And you've got tremendous defense on the side of the Cowboys. Great offensive weapon, CeeDee Lamb, and the work that he did this year is absolutely phenomenal. Running game is pretty solid. They've got a mixture of guys, Tony Pollard and they 1 or 2, 3, 4 guys they run out there. So what do you see in this matchup? Is it a good matchup? And where does ultimately McCarthy fall if he falls short against this team?
It's a great match. I mean, 2 storied franchises in the Mike McCarthy Bowl. We know Mike McCarthy led Green Bay to that Super Bowl win with Aaron Rodgers, and that's really been it in terms of high-level postseason success for him. The flip side of that, Dallas Strick, guess the last time they made a conference championship game?
I want to say conference championship. I want to say early 2010s.
Hasn't happened since 1996.
It's been
I was not alive the last time Dallas reached the NFC championship game, Strick.
Oh, wow.
That happened 2 years before I was born. Okay, it's been a minute for the Cowboys. Whether or not Mike McCarthy should be, fired or let go after this, that's, I don't even want to say reasonable minds, right? Because it's all up to Jerry Jones. What's Jerry feeling right now? Does he want to, move Kellen Moore into that role? Does he think he can go, finally overpay Sean Payton to get him out of Denver? Who knows? I don't think Mike McCarthy should be fired if they lose this game, but Dallas has a lot of advantages. They have a fired up Micah Parsons. NFL All-Pro teams came out today. Parsons was only second team. I think he's going to be motivated to play a big game. You have Deron Bland, who has
came out of
nowhere for the NFL record for pick sixes in a season. But they're playing at home. We talk about that pressure that's just kind of hanging on them. You just always feel like there's that extra little bit of pressure on the scale. Jerry Jones putting his finger on the scale to add a little bit more pressure. The flip side of that is Green Bay's defense has been horrible. Joe Barry has been the butt of many jokes for Packers fans. Mina Kimes brought up a stat that CeeDee Lamb is like the best receiver, one of the top 5 receivers in the NFL on slants. Green Bay's the worst defense in the NFL against slants. I see a lot of Dak to CD. I see Tony Pollard to close it out. The only way Green Bay wins this game is if they hit on enough deep shots, right? Get Bland to bite, go past him, get a big run play or two. But here's the other thing, Strick. 9 years ago, Packers-Cowboys, the Des Bryant play, where he caught it, but then he didn't catch it.
And they said he didn't
9 years ago.
Yeah, I remember that play. Wow. I'd still think he caught that ball, to be honest.
How did he not catch that ball?
I don't know how you can even rule that.
Make it make sense.
Yeah, that was wild. Let's shift on and move on. And we're going to go to this matchup that I still think is interesting, and it's because it's a quarterback duel that everybody's going to be watching intently. And that's the Matthew Stafford and the Jared Goff because of the switcheroo that happened between both teams. The Rams didn't think that Stafford could get it done and wanted Goff. And ultimately the Lions got, some would say maybe the better half outside of the sold out, went for it all. The Rams, who haven't been the same since they did go all in for a Super Bowl. And now it's this matchup of number 1 overall quarterbacks as they face off there in Detroit. Stafford will, some people are predicting that Stafford's going to go nuts. They think he's going to go for 300 plus in this game. Like they think he's going to go nuts. Does he have the weapons to do that? Because if there's not an area that I think that the Rams struggle, I think it's in their secondary.
That's fair. I think so. I mean, the Rams have been one of the hotter teams in football, but Detroit's been a bit steadier. Little lull in that kind of early middle part of the season, but they picked it back up. How perfectly Matthew Stafford would it be for him to go to Ford Field, throw for 350 yards and 4 touchdowns and still lose the game? How many times has he done that in Detroit? Right? I think Detroit is the better more rounded team at full strength. I mean, they're the franchise that's gone the longest between playoff wins in the NFL right now. Detroit is so super incredibly due, but the Rams, they know Jared Goff. They do, inside and out.
Yeah. Differently
than the Lions know Matt Stafford, right? This is the same coaching staff for the Rams, different coaching staff for the Lions. Dan Campbell's been super aggressive on fourth downs this year. How does that factor into this game? Because I think the Rams are coming in with a lot of momentum, feeling really good about themselves. Two great receivers in Nakua and Kupp. Kyron Williams has been going nuts as well. I think this game, Strick, devolves into a shootout. I think this is a 34-31, 35, 32 type of game.
Mm-hmm.
Stafford's led a lot of late comebacks, did it in his time in Detroit. I don't know if it's going to be, it's whoever has the ball last is going to win this game, in my opinion.
So here's a couple things to note. The Lions have a great rush in by the name, and some would maybe not like it from where he came, but Aiden Hutchinson. And he finished the season with 5 sacks. But something else that he has that's tremendous, he's forced and a forced fumble, 5 sacks and a forced fumble.
Mm-hmm.
But what's a great percentage is almost 20% in his pass rush win rate. So that means if it comes down to that, they better be chipping, they better be blocked, extra, making sure there's an extra hand in the game plan there. And on the other side of things, the Lions with David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs, that combination, the Rams allow almost 5 yards a carry.
With Aaron Donald in the middle of your defense, shouldn't be possible.
So if they get up and they're able, then that, just know that they have something they can go to in order to, run the clock, seal the game, and it's that run game with those two gentlemen as well.
It sure is. Let's take a break and keep the NFL headlines going. I don't think we need to talk about the Bucs and the Eagles. I'm not super thrilled by that game. I think the only thing to mention on that one, Strick, is Jalen Hurts is having trouble throwing the football.
Yeah.
Did you see the picture of his finger?
Yeah, it was ugly.
Yeah, nah.
Yeah, especially when you're talking about that middle finger, that grip, and then it's cold.
Mm-hmm.
And that middle finger is part of the last grip that you have when you're trying to spin that ball. And look, in shooting, that finger probably doesn't hurt you as bad, but in throwing, I think it does. In shooting, it's your index and these two end fingers, I think, are very important. The middle one is just there.
Yeah.
But in throwing, oh gosh, you need it. That grip strength is necessary, and it comes a lot from that tension in that middle finger.
Right. AFC storylines, picks, more. Half an hour left on our week here of On the Block. Again, if you get the On the Block 93.7 Twitter account to 50 followers by the end of the day, there's a snowbank with my name on it. Go to Twitter, give it a follow. Appreciate y'all. Hope you're safe at home, warm, cozy, mug of hot chocolate, tea, whatever it is that's your drink.
Or the milk coffee.
Or the milk coffee, right. Whatever it is, we appreciate you tuning into 93.7 The Ticket On the Block from home. We'll be right back.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric brings exciting career opportunities for you or someone you know. They are now hiring plumbers, electricians, and HVAC techs and installers to continually build their professional team. They offer competitive pay and full benefits packages that include health, dental, vision, PTO, and 401k options. Action has created a positive team environment for over 50 years. Apply online at actionlincoln.com.
Are you in the market for a new garage door or need to repair your old one? It's wintertime, and that means snow, wind, and freezing temperatures. All things that can cause sticky locks and damage to your garage door. If you're experiencing any issues with your commercial or residential garage door during the winter months, call Cameron Hall and his team at Doors Plus. Don't be trapped outside in the cold because of a poorly maintained garage door. Call Doors Plus today at 402-590-5800 or visit them online at doorsplusllc.com. Doors Plus, garage doors and more.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now, they've raised wages again, and they're hiring for production operators at $24.62 per hour, which grows to $28.97 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $33.36 per hour, with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or apply, go to continentaljobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Copple Chevrolet GMC, and we'd like to say thank you for a record-setting 2023. So let's start off 2024 with the bang. They've got huge trade-in bonuses and finance bonusing happening right now on our new inventory at Copple. Get up to $8,500 off select new models at Copple. So if you're shopping for a new GM product, go to our website at copplecars.com. You won't believe the discounts. Make that short money-saving drive down 144th Street. You'll be glad you did. Must have trade and finance with roof credit. Stock number G207684.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today: snow and blowing snow likely today, especially in the morning. Otherwise, it'll be cold and windy, a high of just 8. Tonight, cold and wind continue, more blowing snow as well. See a low of 5 below. And tomorrow, more cold, wind, blowing snow, a high of just -1. Stay warm and safe out there. I'm meteorologist Kyle Klecker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Don't miss Star Wars Night at the Icebox this Saturday as the Lincoln Stars battle the Tri-City Storm. The Stars will be sporting specialty Star Wars uniforms that will be auctioned off after Saturday's game. Purchase a Star Wars Night package now to get 4 tickets and 2 lightsabers for $75. The puck drops at 7:05 p.m., and you can get your tickets now at lincolnstars.com.
I see the future in our public school classrooms every day. I'm Jenny Benson, president of the Nebraska State Education Association. I also see how critically important parent and community support is to our students' success. Support your public schools. Get involved. Form a business school partnership or become a school volunteer. Great schools and great communities work hand in hand.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Golfing in 72 degrees and perfect conditions in Nebraska doesn't seem possible in the winter, but it is. Double Eagle Golf is your escape from the bone-chilling cold outside and a reason to keep your clubs out year-round. Book a bay with some friends for a weekend or come by for golf and happy hour on a weekday. Spring leagues begin in February. Get signed up today. That's all at Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex at West O Street. Online at doubleeagle.golf.
Not many businesses can say they've made it 60 years, but Madsen's Bowling and Billiards can. With 12 bowling lanes and the biggest pool room in Nebraska, where else would you go to enjoy an afternoon or evening? There's a great daily specials like $2 Tuesdays, games of bowling, shoe rentals, draft beers, and tacos, all just $2 each. Have a delicious burger at EJ's Lounge before or after your bowling or pool session, and you'll leave satisfied. Madsen's Bowling and Billiards at 47th and Dudley.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions. Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Once again, we're back. NFL talk. The playoffs are here.
Playoffs? Playoffs?
The playoffs are here. The NFL playoffs are here. The matchups have been set. And, some people are looking at the matchups and they're kind of wondering about them a little bit and having their feelings in some kind of ways about how the matchups are set. But, hey, it is what it is, baby. It is what it is. And you said we're not going to talk about the
Eagles and Bucks.
Eagles and the Bucks game. You're off that one.
Philly's gonna win, but then they're done. Paper tiger. Sirianni's gone.
You're not feeling it.
I'm not. If you are, feel free to share your thoughts, but I'm not.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's see here.
That brings us to the AFC. Unless you have anything to say on San Francisco.
What say you about San Fran? What'd you say?
Got to stay healthy, right? That's what ruined them last year. Was not only did their first two quarterbacks go down, third string of Brock Purdy came in, was doing the thing.
Do you think it's you think it's a make or break year as far as what as far as they're concerned? Do you think it's a make or break
next year?
I think next year's
Purdy had his first full year as a starter. The league will be better able to adjust to him next year.
Right.
If he steps up and is just as good or basically as good, then I could see San Francisco committing to him longer term. But if he struggles, that's where I think we continue the cycle of, is Brock Purdy good enough? Is he really the guy? As long as Kyle Shanahan's there and as long as they manage the cap effectively, San Francisco can be a player for a long time. I don't know if Shanahan has the cojones that Belichick did to cut guys at just the right time. I think Belichick had a special touch for figuring out when it was the guys kind of lost their mojo or, were a year before that, so they didn't have to pay him the big bag. You look at all those skill guys on offense that are getting money. You add that to Trent Williams, who might be the most important player on that offense. To a lot of studs on defense as well. San Francisco's got to manage the cap and they've got to continue to draft well. Otherwise, they'll run into the situation that Kansas City is right now, but without the luxury of having probably still the best quarterback in the game.
Yeah, no doubt about it. We're going to shift over to the AFC. We'll start with this one, the 5-4 matchup, which is the Browns that find their way going to Houston after the big college football championship game. They're not going to get a playoff game to follow it up. Houston is like, it's one of the surprising teams because it's a team where you see CJ Stroud went absolutely nuts in his rookie season. Does he win it? We'll talk about that another time. But on top of that, you look at this team where it could have went left really easy for them. They could have fallen out of grace because he ends up in concussion protocol, but Case Keenum steps in and threw a couple of interceptions and, they still kind of teeter around, but they win the game that they need to win, find themselves in the 4 seed with a home game, but it's against the Browns. Now, here's the thing that's going to be a key component in this game, I think, Austin, is this. CJ Stroud is one of the best. He has the highest QBR in the league against his own, but he struggles against the man.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to figure that this.
We call that Austin Norman's high school basketball career.
This Cleveland Browns team is going to put pressure. They're going to bring pressure, and they're going to make him win and make those receivers win in the zone. Now, obviously, we've got a resurgence of Joe Flacco on the other side of things. But how do you view it? How do you see that it goes down in this particular game?
I want to save that question of man versus zone for Jay, right? Because I don't know how much blame to put CJ Stroud struggles against man on him versus the wide receivers, right? I think CJ Stroud has done a pretty good job, Bobby Slowick as well, of elevating that receiver core, really young group. But I don't know if they struggle to create separation, if they're better at finding the open spots in zone, whether it is, getting off press coverage or any physical traits that might limit them against opposing defensive backs. The Browns defense has taken a bit of a step back from where it was early in the year. Houston was down a couple guys on defense when Flacco really had his reemergence party against Houston early on. This is a game that it's the 4-5 for a reason. Two good teams. Cleveland has the better record, but Houston gets the game at home. It kind of feels like Houston is a year and a half early, but good for them, right? If they can be so precocious as to make the playoffs a year earlier than expected, no reason to count them out, right? Maybe they don't know what they don't know. They don't know they're supposed to feel pressure. They don't know that there are more stakes in the playoffs. They're just out there balling. Houston's been fun to watch. I say begrudgingly as I, again, rep my number 5 Anthony Richardson jersey. Big shout out to DP for that. I think I lean toward Cleveland in this matchup. I think they're playing better football a little bit right now. Wouldn't shock me if Flacco has just a middle of the road kind of game, but I expect to see that Cleveland defense step up.
But let's make a jump because I want to talk about this other game. It's an important game, but I want to make the jump and talk about the Steelers against the Bills. The Steelers and the Bills, obviously Josh Allen has brought this team from like the Undertaker out of the grave. It looked like they were gonna, literally dead to rights, and they were gonna fall off. And somehow, some way, they turned it around, even without Stephon Diggs having the impact that so they were able to find other ways to get wins. Now they're gonna face a Steelers team that's just one. I didn't even think they would be there. Not having a quarterback, they're not one that they can really settle in on. They just kind of been leapfrogging and figuring out which quarterback is going to go from week to week. But at the end of the day, they find themselves getting in somehow. Now, maybe it's because of the defense. Maybe it's because of the running game. Najee Harris has been great for them in helping to stabilize things. Their defense is obviously well, but here's who's out, TJ Watt. So the area that you're going to need strength in, especially putting pressure, running, and the abilities of Josh Allen, you now don't have one of your best edge rushers in the game against the number 2 seed.
And that's a problem. That's the way to beat the Bills and really any team in football. Get pressure on the quarterback, hang on long enough in the defensive backfield to be able to get home, and then bring him down. Josh Allen's a tough guy to bring down. Given his size, 6'5", 200 whatever pounds he weighs, we know he's mobile. TJ Watt was going to have to be a game changer. With him out, I really don't love Pittsburgh's chances. Right now, it's just kind of a roll of the dice. Do you get YOLO mode Josh Allen, who has been really good? I don't think Josh Allen has gotten all the praise and respect he deserves. He's put up really good numbers this year, Strick. He's been a top 3 quarterback in the NFL, probably a top 2 quarterback in terms of the numbers. But you see early on, he's forcing it. Some of the turnovers came back to bite him. And we see that with Buffalo year in, year out. Like they couldn't get over that Kansas City hump in the playoffs. Was it completely Josh Allen's fault? Not at all. The Chiefs' offense was really good, but there was always that one mistake that was magnified because it came at a bad time or ended up sparking something for the other team. Josh Allen shouldn't have to be asked to play perfect, pristine, crystal clear football. That Bills defense, I think, has enough nastiness to it to be able to cover for mistakes, but they haven't gotten it done in the biggest moments. It's not all on Josh Allen, but some of it does fall on his shoulders. This is where, for Josh Allen, I think it's important to find a way to play as close to perfect football as you can. Shouldn't need perfect football against the Steelers, but it kind of feels like now or never for Buffalo, with Stephon Diggs not making the impact, with the conversation around Josh Allen the way it is. Heck, even Sean McDermott has been, kind of called to the carpet a few times this year. I know the story is it now or never for the Ravens as the 1 seed. It might be now or never for the Bills to some degree.
Interesting. Now let's go lastly before we cross it over with Jay Foreman, who we have seen in the building. But let's talk about this. Normally when we talk about a game that's going to happen on tomorrow, we would normally talk about Green Bay, it being in the frozen tundra. Well, the frozen tundra has come south and it is now in Kansas City. It is going to be an icy, freeze, cold, a bone-chilling cold down in Kansas City for this game. They're talking about negative 16, possibly to 20 by the time game time comes through. The Dolphins, this is something that Miami's not used to. I mean, maybe you might say some wind, some rain, some hurricanes, and all of that stuff. But it's going to be a crazy day, and it's who's going to show up and which defense is going to be available to do so. Now, in the last game, they shut Tyreek Hill down. They held him to only like 62 yards. A lot of that was due to the fact that they play zone. Kansas City plays zone a season high about 61% of their time. Are they going to be able to do that? I think it's tougher in snow. You probably want to, as much as possible, keep people in front of you. Is that possible in this game against the speed that you're going to have with Waddle and as well as Tyreek Hill? Which quarterback's going to show up? Obviously the one who's been there and done it is Mahomes. Tua is trying to do what we've been talking about in other sports, that breakthrough moment. He's looking to have that. Before we get to the crossover, how do you feel about this in the new tundra of Kansas City?
Kansas City is a deserving favorite. They're at home. They've played in the elements, and it is dumb, to put it gently, to bet against Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. There's really only been, that one game against Tampa Bay where his offensive line let him down, that Patrick Mahomes didn't have, good numbers. So you put your money on Patrick Mahomes, even in a year like this, where the wide receiving core has struggled, the offensive line hasn't been as good, and the Chiefs have had, a top 5 defense in football. Steve Spagnuolo's got to absolutely cook. And I've been on the Tyreek Hill revenge game in his second crack at it storyline. I think that could be a big deal. Waddle's really good. But Strick, we forget just how good that Miami run game has been. Mostert, the numbers he's put up, especially the touchdown numbers. A-Chain as the backup has some insane numbers as well. Maybe the best 2-man backfield in the NFL right now resides in Miami. If they commit to the run and they're able to crack a couple big ones against the Chiefs, that's the path for Miami to win this game. If you can run enough, and then you see Tyreek Hill with the matchup you want, in the situation you want, take a shot to him. He's one of the best receivers in all football.
Who do you believe his line is more apropos to win this in the trenches? Like, which line would you bet on in the trench? Because this is what you're going to have. You're going to have snow, ice, cold, slippery conditions.
It's strength on strength and weakness on weakness, right? The Chiefs' defensive line has been pretty good. You have Chris Jones, who's a game wrecker there. Karlaftis has had his moments. But the Dolphins' offensive line has done a good job, right? Not a whole lot of sacks allowed for as much as they throw it, and one of the best rushing offenses in the NFL, with that two-headed monster obviously spearheaded by that offensive line. But on the flip side, the Chiefs' offensive line has struggled, but the Dolphins' defensive line is maybe the most banged-up unit in football right now. They're down a lot of guys, calling them in off the streets. So I think that I probably trust Kansas City's defensive line the most of any of those units, but it's splitting hairs between them and that Miami offensive line.
Well, there it is. If you guys have any thoughts as well, continue to submit them. I'm sorry we haven't been able to get to them. There's been a lot of content and information that we wanted to make sure we get out there to you guys so that we can have the debates. Maybe we'll touch on a couple of them when Jay comes in here on the crossover. We've got a question for Jay that my partner has thrown out. We're going to get to that when we get back on the other side right here on 93.7 The Ticket at ticketfm.com on the block.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now, they've raised wages again, and they're hiring for production operators at $24.62 per hour, which grows to $28.97 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $33.36 per hour, with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates, with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or apply, go to continentaljobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today. Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today: snow and blowing snow likely today, especially in the morning. Otherwise, it'll be cold and windy, a high of just 8. Tonight, cold and wind continue, more blowing snow as well. See a low of 5 below. And tomorrow, more cold, wind, blowing snow, a high of just -1. Stay warm and safe out there. I'm meteorologist Kyle Klecker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric is the call I make when I have a need for plumbing services. Whether it's for my home or office, if I need a repair to a water heater, softener, or even my garbage disposal, I know I can count on Action to help. In one simple call, their amazing customer service team promptly schedules a service call, often getting to my needs within a day. Action delivers honest, quality services we can count on. To learn more, visit actionlincoln.com.
Not many businesses can say they've made it 60 years, but Madsen's Bowling and Billiards can. With 12 bowling lanes and the biggest pool room in Nebraska, where else would you go to enjoy an afternoon or evening? There's a great daily specials like $2 Tuesdays, games of bowling, shoe rentals, draft beers, and tacos, all just $2 each. Have a delicious burger at EJ's Lounge before or after your bowling or pool session, and you'll leave satisfied. Madsen's Bowling and Billiards at 47th and Dudley.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstorats.com for amazing offers, and if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Don't allow uninvited guests to take over your home. Trust Bats to Rats for a peaceful and rodent-free living space.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports is quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Don't miss Star Wars Night at the Icebox this Saturday as the Lincoln Stars battle the Tri-City Storm. The Stars will be sporting specialty Star Wars uniforms that will be auctioned off after Saturday's game. Purchase a Star Wars Night package now to get 4 tickets and 2 lightsabers for $75. The puck drops at 7:05 p.m., and you can get your tickets now at lincolnstars.com.
Golfing in 72 degrees and perfect conditions in Nebraska doesn't seem possible in the winter, but it is. Double Eagle Golf is your escape from the bone-chilling cold outside and a reason to keep your clubs out year-round. Book a bay with some friends for a weekend or come by for golf and happy hour on a weekday. Spring leagues begin in February. Get signed up today. That's all at Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex at West O Street. Online at doubleeagle.golf.
24/7 threat monitoring, expert tech support, streamlined communications. Allo has a solution for that. Protect your business with Allo Business. Comprehensive firewall security, Microsoft Teams voice-integrated communications, cybersecurity and IT support managed by experts. From productivity to peace of mind, Allo has a solution for that. Allo means business. Protect your business by visiting allofiber.com/business.
I see the future in our public school classrooms every day. I'm Jenny Benson, president of the Nebraska State Education Association. I also see how critically important parent and community support is to our students' success. Support your public schools. Get involved. Form a business school partnership or become a school volunteer. Great schools and great communities work hand in hand.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Ironhide Construction is hiring. They're looking for hardworking, self-motivated individuals who are team players. Ironhide Construction has openings for an experienced project manager, estimator, apprentice, skilled laborer, and erector or installer. They will train the right people and make sure you understand the position and requirements. At Ironhide Construction, it's own it, be honest, and do it right. Apply today and learn more about their other benefits at ironhideconstruction.com, where they're committed to you every step of the way.
Ready to make this season unforgettable? Celebrate with Liberty First Credit Union's low-rate debt consolidation loan. Combine all those bills into one affordable monthly payment with quick access to funds. Imagine all the extra cash for holiday shopping sprees, festive parties, or that well-deserved vacation. Stop by any of their branches or visit libertyfirstcu.com to find out more about their low-rate debt consolidation loan. Make this holiday season one to remember and celebrate with Liberty First Credit Union, banking with purpose.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Grayson Waller, everybody, not loving his time in Nebraska. He'll be a PBA. Strick will be a PBA.
It's summertime. It's summertime
WWF?
over there.
Yeah.
It's
That's
almost
funny.
it's like right off the Inquay, so it's always pretty warm down there it depends, I guess, on where you are in Australia, yeah. Because I guess near New Zealand it can get cold because it's a little bit further away. So, but they're on the southern hemisphere, so it's summertime.
Yeah, it's always
there
hot
now.
over there, right?
Right now, yeah, right now it's definitely hot. It's summertime, so I can understand what he's saying. So I get it. It is cold though.
They about to give him the business tonight.
He's got the losing contract tonight.
Yeah, he gonna take the fall. You going down.
I'm gonna be monitoring it. I'm gonna be in the building.
He going down.
Yeah.
He definitely going down.
You think so?
Oh yeah. Yeah, he definitely going. And he gonna have to spend the night too. I hope he gets snowed in.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
That's Jay Strick in the middle. I'm Austin. We're wrapping up On the Block here, 93.7 The Ticket. Jay, we want to throw this out to you. We were talking NFL playoffs, making our picks a little bit last segment. Stricky threw out that CJ Stroud is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL against zone, has struggled a bit more against man. Do you put that on a young quarterback learning the ropes and the windows against man, or on his receivers and separation?
I think it's a little bit of both. And I just think that, he's very accurate. It's always, been, but it's different throwing against zone when you're throwing the pockets and windows, et cetera, versus learning the separation patterns of certain receivers. And, to his defense, his number one receiver's out now, which he did well against man.
Mm-hmm.
And then Collins was a little banged up. Now he's healthy. And so I think it's just a little bit of personnel experience. Probably needs to, add a little bit if they could get a true number one receiver. I think Collins is probably, he's proven that, but maybe get a third receiver, a good slot receiver, or a Tank Dell in the slot. I mean, then you'd see it a lot more. And plus, to get him a little bit more consistent running attack, then you could dictate, what the defense will call. So then that just comes from experience as well.
Speaking of a little bit more of a running attack, let's shift back to college football. Strick and I were talking about Kalen Board, Alabama a little bit, but the conversation shifted a little bit to Ohio State, how they kind of lost their way, it seems, under Ryan Day, right? You have Carlos Hyde, you have J.K. Dobbins, Zeke Elliott there for a while. Travion Henderson, Mine Williams are good, but Ohio State hasn't, run the ball the same way as they did, under Urban. But here's the other conversation I think we're going to have to start having. Ohio State is going to be Washington next year. Washington's not good. Ohio State is bringing everybody back. All their top 100 projected draft guys are coming back. It's Ohio State's conference next year.
Yeah, on paper, they still got to get a quarterback, though. You don't have Michael Penix Jr., but, I guess if Brown...
Well, they got Howard.
Oh, yeah, but,
that's how they're choosing to address it.
Yeah, Howard. You could... Brown is a little bit more mobile. You could probably you could still be dominant with two quarterbacks, especially if they're if they both step up in the competition. You will get the best guy out there week in and week out. And I like Howard. I liked him even when they went when they beat TCU in the Big 12. I like him. I think he was even good this year. I think the one thing that people don't understand about Ohio State in Michigan is the first year of Ryan Day. He just had I call it the overflow from Urban Meyer. They still had that toughness. And then he got a little bit too cute. And you just look at where he recruited his guys. And Urban Meyer, when you talked about those running backs that you just talked about, Carlos Hyde, Ezekiel Elliott, Dobbins, they are well-established NFL running backs. All of them played, or, obviously Ezekiel's still playing well over 6 to 7, 8 years. That's a long shelf life and be the number one guys, but they're extremely physical. Henderson is he can be physical, but that's not where he, cuts his teeth. And so I think the physicalness and toughness seeped out of the program. And what Michigan did is they decided they didn't want to be like Ohio State. They just wanted to get tougher and get better. Now, granted, they had assistants doing that. And it's a lot easier to get tougher if I'm guarding Erick Strickland and I know exactly what you're doing. When I know your hand signals, or, in the NBA, if I know your calls, or, I mean, it's harder in the NBA because it's such a one-on-one game. But if I knew what you were doing personally, Strick, if I'm guarding you, I'm a better defender versus if I'm just preparing like I don't know. You get what I'm saying? Now, granted, the cheat code in the NBA is like Jordan and LeBron and Kobe because they study so much. But those are the three of the best guys of all time. Just imagine if I know where the ball is going, and I consider myself a football junkie. So I was like at 70-some%. If I was 90% knew the calls of Peyton Manning, just imagine if when I played Peyton Manning, right? And I knew what was the dummy check versus what the real check. It didn't matter that they had a Hall of Fame running back in Edgerrin James.
Yeah.
One of the best of all time in Peyton Manning, Jeff Saturday, and then the plethora of Hall of Famers. It wouldn't have mattered. I mean, it would have, but it wouldn't have been to that rate. And so, I think just Michigan got tougher. If you want to look at how to you really get your program better. Now, granted, Michigan has never been from a lack of talent ever, even when they were struggling,
or resources.
And there's a correlation. So if you want to find your way to get better, you got to get tougher and you got to get more fundamentally sound. That's what Washington did. Now we're going to talk about this in old school.
This is why
what is
we
this
talked
guy?
about
Who
yesterday.
is this guy?
This is what we talked about yesterday, that sometimes it's a person on a basketball team. It could be a person that just does a little bit of the extra stuff that not everybody likes to do. But as you said yesterday, it then creeps into the others.
Oh, yeah.
And then they start to do it.
Right.
And it compounds, and then you start winning.
Right.
This is what you were talking about with potentially. Now, it hasn't happened, but we know that this is ingrained in the young man, Muscusko.
Right. Yeah,
Mazuka. Yeah.
Coming from Florida.
Yeah.
He got some, real, not fake toughness. He is, he got a little bit of edge to him. And, Ben Scott showed a little bit of edge, but then you could bring that, look, I want to see a little bit of edge out of Turner Corcoran and Bryce Benhart and those guys. So if you got somebody that's challenging you, like, openly and without, like, I guess, like, ill will, that's what you want. I mean, we talked about
like it was different. Let me real quick, because I just thought about something, right? There's somebody I used to hate to play against, but oh boy, was fun with the way that I played, was fun to play with. Out of all the teams that I play for, do we have something to give away?
We got a 10-second station ID to give away.
Let's do that, and then we're gonna get something away with this.
$15 to upside after 10-second ID.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Real quick, while we're on the crossover, there's 6 teams that I played for. I'm not gonna tell you that, but of the 6 teams, there's one particular player that I hated to play against, but loved to play with. Dallas Mavericks, Boston Celtics, Vancouver Grizzlies, Indiana Pacers, New York Knicks, and the Milwaukee Bucks. Out of those teams, there's one particular person. Shouter Heyman text line 402-464-5685. If you're local on the stream, you can guess it as well. There's one particular player. If you get it, we're going to give you $15 to upside. But that's what I'm talking about. When you hear this person's name, Jay, it's going to resonate with you with what we're talking about. Because sometimes you can have those situations.
Yeah, they got. Anytime you play competitive sports, you should be able to become a different person, or raise your level of intensity, or bring out a certain part in your personality that maybe that's not what your everyday life is, and that's just part of playing sports. I mean, if you're walking around generally with the football mentality, you're going to probably be in a lot of trouble. I mean. You think some pretty unethical thoughts when you play football. So, and the guys that play like that, play on the edge and push buttons, those are the guys you want to play with and you don't want to play against. And when you think about Nebraska and what they're doing. Guys they brought in. They brought some good team guys in. Now they're bringing some guys a little bit more productive that help build that culture where ideally you would like to do a lot more coaching, and then the locker room does all the policing as far as discipline, accountability, and stuff like that.
You mentioned that edge. Both of you in your careers, who are those guys that did a good job of walking up to that edge, finding that advantage, but not going over the edge, going too far?
In college, everybody took turns. I felt like, Christian Peter, Jason Peter, all those guys played right to the edge, but it was for the betterment of the team, and we'd do anything for it, and you play with guys like that in the pros, like Bill Romanowski was a guy that probably people love to play with, didn't want to play against. And that's just part of being a team. Some guys just got to be at a certain level of intensity that you got to play that way. Some guys are naturally athletically gifted that they can just kind of go out there and sleepwalk, and they're one of the best of all time. But, quite frankly, you got to have a good mix of everything on the team. And that's in every sport. You got to have guys that are grinders. You got to have guys that are naturally gifted. Got to have guys that surprise you. You got to have guys that are supreme as far as being leadership or being leaders. And one of the things that I talked about, Kyle Williams and Ted Washington and those guys when we'd be in the locker room, we would be playing the Miami Dolphins or a team like that, and we talked about the deep water, and then another time with Kyle Williams said, look, man, you got to look at somebody next to you, and you got to be able to hold them accountable. And it can't be personal. Nobody's hating on you if they want you to play better or know that you can play better. And that's how you grow, team-wise. And it's even coaching-wise. Like a perfect example is Mike McDaniel, right? He's the head coach of the Dolphins. He's the kind of the, new and hip guy. Kyle Shanahan, who's probably one of his best colleagues and probably a close friend of his, Raheem Morris, and another coach when he was coaching down in Atlanta, had to sit him down. It's like, you're not doing good enough, man. You got too much stuff going on outside of football. We care about you enough that you need to take a step away. But they never forgot about him, though. And that's the difference. And when you can do that, it's a hard pill to swallow, but you also have to be able to bring guys back in and not, I guess, double jeopardy or, lifetime. People can get better at stuff and you can get better at a player. I mean, if Nebraska, you see some guys that you never thought of would have played or hadn't had a chance to play, made some big strides this year. And so that comes from leadership. That comes with playing a little bit more of an edge. You saw a little bit more swagger out of some guys. You saw some guys being challenged and raised and answer the challenge. You saw like a Tommy Hill who he did not start off on the right foot, obviously. For whatever.
Real quick, while Jay is making this point, the hint is it was the Indiana Pacers. It's a player from the Indiana Pacers that I played for in 2001. I mean, there's one specific person on that team that you love to play with, but hated to play against. Okay, go ahead.
I mean, there's just guys like that. I mean, you got to be able to play. When you play sports, it's a majority of it's mental. I mean, let's be honest. Even right now, as much as people, you'll have guys out here, that get on and talk about, how great these guys are at. They're not that much more. If they are more athletic than, say when me and Strick played, it's just byproduct of their training and they hit their ceiling a lot faster. I've watched the combine and the depth isn't there. The thing is mental, and the mental edge that you can create to be successful in sports is a lost art right now. And that's what Strick is talking about, is one of his teammates and or foe, or sometimes both, because he would push those buttons in practice, wouldn't he?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then. Yeah. You can get in that car ready to fire his butt up.
Yes, sir. And listen, you knew you wouldn't go to war with him, but boy, when it was time for him, to want to go back to war, you had to pause. But One-Eyed Ray.
You got it. One-Eyed Ray. I like the name.
One-Eyed Ray got it. Meta World Peace, a.k.a.
Ron Artest.
Ron Artest.
Yeah. You know what's crazy is that me and Ron had the same agent, the same agency. So I met him in Chicago. He had that edge even then when he was with the Bulls. And you could just tell he just had that New York edge. When he dapped up with you, it's constantly physical. Like,
you never had to teach him like you do, Nick.
Yeah, but I'm just saying he's like abrasive. You get what I'm saying? He dap up.
Hard.
It's not. Yeah,
Like,
it's
strong, hard,
strong.
boom.
Yeah, it's
What's up, boom?
Yeah, he giving forearm, deltoid, and then checking you and see where you at. You know what I'm saying?
Real.
Yeah. You better be on guard.
Shout out to Queensbridge. That's where he's from.
Yeah.
What's coming up on Old School?
Well, we got a new Alabama coach. That quick within 24 hours. Got some NFL picks this weekend. And we got some Patriot news. So that's big. And what it means for the league and moving forward. And then obviously a weekend recap of all the Husker going as far as the sports.
There we go. Stricky. Make it back safe at some point this weekend.
Yeah,
Enjoy wrestling.
Well, like Jay told me, I'm going to WWE, but Jay told me 80 shut down. So y'all be careful out there. If you don't got to go, don't go. Make sure your gas tanks are full and have a great weekend.
Yeah, don't be riding around on E.
Don't do that.
No,
Don't do
not
it.
out here, boy. Don't ride around
My
on
40-minute wait at Sam's was worth it. I got gas yesterday.
I hear y'all.
I'm set.
Hey, patience is a virtue.
Sure is. Great week on the block. Thanks, y'all, for tuning in. Old School DP&J is next.
Not many businesses can say they've made it 60 years, but Madsen's Bowling and Billiards can. With 12 bowling lanes and the biggest pool room in Nebraska, where else would you go to enjoy an afternoon or evening? There's a great daily specials like $2 Tuesdays, games of bowling, shoe rentals, draft beers, and tacos, all just $2 each. Have a delicious burger at EJ's Lounge before or after your bowling or pool session, and you'll leave satisfied. Madsen's Bowling and Billiards at 47th and Dudley.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Against Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Against Sports at 48th and Vine.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions.
I see the future in our public school classrooms every day. I'm Jenny Benson, president of the Nebraska State Education Association. I also see how critically important parent and community support is to our students' success. Support your public schools. Get involved. Form a business school partnership or become a school volunteer. Great schools and great communities work hand in hand.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
John Henry's would like to remind you, if you haven't already, to unhook your outdoor hoses and check faucets for leaks so your pipes don't freeze. As the official plumber of the Huskers, you